What's up, guys, and welcome to Gamescript. We're looking at a Thursday night matchup between the reeling Detroit Lions and the surging Dallas Cowboys, and it's likely to be a barn burner. But how are we going to build our DraftKings SHOWDOWN lineup? So I'm going to get into it right after this.
The most advanced sports news and nugget aggregator has arrived. SportNuggets.com is here to help you dominate with unbeatable intel, fantasy, daily fantasy, betting, or flooding the zone with news and nuggets to crush your competition. Our cutting-edge AI delivers instant analysis on player nuggets from the most trusted sources, articles, podcasts, videos. We leave no stone unturned. We mine every word for nuggets on every player, stars, backups, even practice squad sleepers. Our smart filtering lets you cut through the deluge and zero in on specific players, teams, games, or positions. Sort by trending or injury nuggets to find leads to uncover hidden gems. Premium access to expert breakdowns, gaming tips, and analysis that turn nuggets into wins. And if we miss a nugget, our members can jump in to fill the gap. The most commented, liked, or favorited submissions get a boost in our engagement rankings, helping fellow prospectors discover the real gold. Mine the edge. Dominate the game. Join the beta now and start mining before your rivals do.
What's up, guys? Simon Edwards at PumaCom here with Heat Seeker Sports, and you're watching Gamescript. We got the Detroit Lions versus the Dallas Cowboys. They're playing in Detroit. We got a 54.5-point total with Detroit as 3-point favorites in this one. Dallas has been a team on the rise. They're motivated. Their team looks good. They look like they could potentially make it into the playoffs the way that they've been playing recently. Their defense has improved, and they've been a much better team since basically the trade deadline when they traded for Williams over on the defensive line there. He's made a huge impact on their run defense. And overall, like, the defense itself has been doing better, but they're still very vulnerable against the pass. And on the other side, Detroit's defense is just they've been hurt. They're not getting any better as far as the injury concerns, and we're going to get into that in a minute. Also missing Amon-Ra St. Brown potentially. He's questionable with an ankle injury, and from what I've heard, he seems to be more on the doubtful side of questionable, but still questionable. He could still play. Khalif Raymond also missing on Detroit. That's going to open the door for some sneaky Detroit receivers for us. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. Before I do that, make sure to hit that like button. Give me the 70 likes so I can put my favorite plays over on Sport Nuggets in the insights section. I haven't put any in the insights yet. If you see any, they might be from last week. Just make sure that the context is for tonight's game. Last week, I had some success with both these teams. They were both on that Thanksgiving slate, and I actually shipped the Detroit versus Green Bay showdown in that one. I'll show that to you guys right now. That was this lineup here. I had Jameson Williams as the captain. I had Jared Goff in that lineup along with Jordan Love. I had Watson in there as well. And then I had David Montgomery. I went with Montgomery. I had a feeling that the running backs, could do some damage in this one, but I wasn't sure how much, it would be a Jahmyr Gibbs game. And then I had Dontavian Wicks in this one as well. Wicks ended up hitting 28 points. I had him featured in our insights over on sportnuggets.com. He came in really low owned in the main slate over there. Was 6%. He was 27% in this contest. I had him in the captain in a few of my lineups, and he had 1.9% captain ownership, and he ended up hitting 28 points. If Williams hadn't gone off at a cheap price last week, then that Dontavian Wicks captain play could have won me a lot more than what I did win. I ended up winning 8,800 on that slate. On the main slate, I won a few hundred more. Nothing huge on the main slate. I was live for a while there. I had a lot of these guys that went off on this game, along with Patrick Mahomes and Rashee Rice and CeeDee Lamb, who also went off. So I had a lot of the big hits on that day, but it's very hard in that main slate, that 3-game main slate, to do some damage. But I ended up hitting on the showdown, which was great. And so tonight's slate, we're going to be analyzing that here in a minute. I want to show you guys first Sport Nuggets. I want to show you guys how to get to the insights once those insights hit. I'm going to go to, let's see, share this tab instead. So right now, it's a free beta preview. So sign up for an account over there. I've been dropping all my picks over in the insight section over on sportnuggets.com. Just a little demo on how to get to those insights. You click on sort, you go down to insights, and then you scroll on this bar over to wherever the game is. It's on Thursday, obviously, so we're going to have it at the top of the bar. Going to click on that game. Now, these insights are old insights from last week, so I haven't wrote any insights yet, but when you see them, they'll pop up at the on here. I'll make a note when I write my insight that I had Jameson Williams as my one of my featured insights last week for Showdown, and I'm going to put a little note in this insight that says this is for week 14, and then I'll write any insight that I have on the players that I like, just in case I duplicate some of the players that I liked last week. I know I'm going to like Isaiah Tesla this week. Amon-Ra, we got that injury concern. I had him as a fade last week, and that injury ended up helping out there. But yeah, Sport Nuggets flooding the zone with news and information from local sources. That's how I find my sneaky plays. I listen to a lot of the local podcasts leading up to a showdown, and I figure out based on the analytics and the analysis from local sources which players I want to play. And that's what Sport Nuggets is all about. It's all about finding those hidden gems from sources that you might normally not be familiar with. And we have a monster feed that is sourcing from about 700 different feeds and giving you guys all the mentions of these players so that you can come in here and find, pinpoint the games that you want to target and all the information that you want from those games. Let's see. Reed, injury is not IR designated. Let's see. We got Kirby Joseph out this week for Detroit. That's a safety missing. We got Amon-Ra is questionable. Keep an eye on Sport Nuggets to see when this information comes out and we get more insight into whether or not he's playing. It looks like he's going to be a game time decision, so you're going to want to have this up on game day. Penny Sewell is questionable. Let's see. Tom Kennedy is going to be interesting this week. Let's see. Sam Laporta is out. I think he might be on IR, or he's going to miss a few games. Let's see. Mainly Amon-Ra news and stuff like that. So we'll keep a track on sportnuggets.com to see when that news comes out and when that news hits that we're going to be needing to know for the game tomorrow. And keep an eye on those insights. When I hit 70 likes over on YouTube, I'm going to put those insights up. Make sure to also hit the subscribe button over on YouTube. I need about 70 more to hit 2,400, so help me out there. I'm going to share over now this, the depth chart from ESPN.com, so we can take a look at that and kind of see, who we want to focus on for the news and nuggets that we're going to have to pay attention to on Thursday. So let's go over here and look at Detroit first. Amon-Ra is questionable. Khalif Raymond is doubtful. That's significant for some of these receivers like Tom Kennedy and Isaiah Tesla. Brock Wright is questionable. Taylor Decker on the offensive line is questionable. We also got Coyote Awasika is questionable, and Graham Glasgow is also questionable. It looked like we were going to get Ragnow back, but he ended up failing the physical, and Detroit ended up thinking that they were going to get back their star center out of retirement. And that was the, like the updates ahead of the Thanksgiving game, but he wasn't supposed to be back for Thanksgiving. He was supposed to be back this week, but then he failed his physical and ended up, we ended up not getting him. So it's going to be a situation with the Lions where they have a lot of these injuries on the offense. It's going to open up opportunities for, like I said, Tesla and Kennedy. Their center is questionable. Hopefully he'll be able to play. We want to keep this game competitive. We don't want Jared Goff to be exposed. Otherwise, that passing game is going to suffer. If we're looking at the defense, we're looking at Kirby Joseph is questionable. We want to keep an eye on that. We want to keep an eye on Brian Branch, also questionable. Terrion Arnold, their best cornerback, is on IR now. So that is huge for these Dallas receivers who are already studs. This game is going to be aggressive on both sides. With this damage to the Detroit secondary, you can look for, Dak Prescott to take advantage of that. But also on the other side, Detroit, they go for it on fourth all the time. Dallas's secondary is where their weakness is. They're going to be attacking that. And, it's just setting up to be a shootout. So we're going to have to be picky about who we want to target and focus on in these passing games. Going to go over and look at the Dallas side next. They also both have really good run defenses. So Tyler Guyton, the left tackle, looks like he's going to be out for Dallas. We got some other guys on IR there. As far as their defense, we got back Overshown the other week. He is steadily going to get better as he comes back from injury. Malik Hooker is questionable. Trayvon Diggs looks like he is still on IR. He might come back. I think he's I can't remember if he's been ruled out officially for this week, but there was some talk that he might come back here soon. And other than that, that's pretty much it. Clowney is questionable. We want to keep a track on that. And, otherwise, this is a defense that has turned it up against the run. They've been vulnerable to the pass. Quinnen Williams, that trade acquisition right before the trade deadline, has been massively improved their run defense here. So let's go over here and look at the DraftKings slate for Thursday night. We got Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs is in a matchup where Dallas is giving up only 22.1 DraftKings points a game to the running back position, but it's even less than that recently with the addition of Quinnen Williams. So Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be in a bad spot, but if Amon-Ra is out, I would imagine that Gibbs is going to be running a ton from the slot. So he's going to be a pass weapon for us on Thursday. And it might be a situation where they're running a lot of two running back sets if they get to that point where they want Jahmyr Gibbs to run more in the slot. Dallas has only been giving up 11.3 DraftKings points a game to the slot, but we've targeted their slot often. And I know that they're weak in the slot, and Jahmyr Gibbs could end up having a big game, big passing game, even if Montgomery gets a lot of work on Thursday with running two running back sets. Dak Prescott is the guy that I like as a captain option. I think that with the damage to the defense over there in Detroit, Prescott's going to set up. It's going to be hard to pick between Pickens and Lamb. They both get about the same target share against man coverage. Both of them have advantageous matchups. And, it's just going to be a situation where Detroit, being one of the teams that we target versus the slot, Detroit, just targeting against the slot with that Jahmyr Gibbs, by the way, he's going to be running from the slot. Dallas, mediocre versus the slot, not as much of a target. The team that we were targeting against the slot has been Detroit. I think I said that for Jahmyr Gibbs now that I'm mentioning the slot again. But CeeDee Lamb is going to have a good matchup against the slot. Like I said, Detroit is the team that we target against the slot, and that's good for not only CeeDee Lamb but another receiver too. I'll talk about in a minute. So Prescott is going to be in play as a captain option for me. Jared Goff playing at home in a dome. He's going to be forced to throw in this one. So Goff is going to be firmly in play. 20 DraftKings points, 18, 27, 19. He's had some good weeks. Not as they've been running a lot more since Dan Campbell picked up the offensive coordination. But, I think that's going to be forced to kind of be a passing game for them. And Jahmyr Gibbs will probably get used a lot, like I said, but he'll be used probably more in the passing game this week if Amon-Ra is out. We're yet to see what's happening with him. If Amon-Ra ends up playing, the Cowboys been giving up, like I said, 11.3 DraftKings points to the slot. The Lions have been giving up 10.2 DraftKings points a game to the slot, but I still target them in the slot regardless. CeeDee Lamb has that matchup that I like. I think that if I had to lean Lamb or Pickens, I would probably lean more towards Pickens this week, just because they're missing Arnold. And I think that Pickens is going to have some matchups where he just outsizes these guys. I think Lamb is too, honestly. That's why it's going to be hard to pick between these guys. Like if they both get an equal amount of work, then that's going to make Dak the better captain option, which is why I'm kind of leaning on Dak as a potential captain. Pickens, like I said, he's just been a beast. 30 plus DraftKings points in multiple games. Last week, he only had 16.8 DraftKings points, but, that was a tough matchup against Kansas City. I did like Lamb in that one because their slot corner, their nickelback, was out in that game, and that's why I was pushing Lamb on my content last week. Jameson Williams, Javonte Williams, he's going to have a very difficult matchup against this Detroit run D. It's only given up 15 DraftKings points a game, even more pressure on Dak and the passing game to perform this week. We got Jameson Williams, the guy, I loved him last week. I like him again this week. I think it's going to be a great matchup. Dallas is weak against receivers still. They're giving up 25.8 DraftKings points, and Detroit is giving up 25.9 DraftKings points. So all these wideouts are going to be in play this week. That goes to the Pickens, what they're allowing to Pickens spot in the wideout. Actually, and to be honest, CeeDee Lamb this season is running 61% of his routes out wide. He's running 39% from the slot. So he's doing a decent amount out wide too. So that's why, it's hard to pick between Pickens and Lamb this week. If we're looking at Terrion Arnold, let's do that real quick. Let's look at Terrion Arnold, because I did notice that Pickens runs a lot of his routes from one side. If we're looking at Arnold, I'm gonna go to Detroit. Terrion Arnold is left cornerback primarily. So if I'm looking at my sheet here, Pickens is running 60% of his routes on the left side. So that's the opposite of what we would want for Pickens to be facing that backup corner. So it's looking like it'll probably be Lamb lining up on that side the most. He's 41% on the right side of the field. So CeeDee Lamb might have the better matchup against that replacement for Terrion Arnold. Although Pickens runs 29% of his routes from that side of the field as well. So he'll still get a taste, but I think Lamb would be the guy that I'd prioritize if I was prioritizing between those guys. Ferguson. Detroit's been giving up 11.3 DraftKings points a game to the tight end position. That's a bad matchup for Ferguson, but still vulnerable. If we're looking at David Montgomery, he's still got that difficult matchup against Williams too. So I'm not super high on David Montgomery this week, even though I do think that they're probably going to be doing a lot of 2 running back sets if Amon-Ra is out. So we want to keep track of what's going on with Amon-Ra this week. We'll skip past these quarterbacks and go to Brandon Aubrey. Aubrey, the kicker, he'll probably be busy in this one. He's had multiple weeks over double-digit points. Not as many as we're used to seeing with a stud kicker like this, but Aubrey is going to be in play for us this week. And same with Bates, honestly. Bates, probably less so with Bates. Honestly, I think these teams are just going to be aggressive and go for it on fourth a lot, knowing that they're going to have to put up a bunch of points. Like it's always a situation with Dan Campbell is that the other team knows that he's going to go for it on fourth, so they know that they have to be on top of being aggressive. So they're going to be going for it on fourth too. So we'll probably see less kicks in this one potentially, and more aggressive play calling. Isaac Tesla. Now I was thinking that maybe with Amon-Ra being out, that Tesla would run a decent amount in the slot. But when I was doing my research, it looks like Tesla only runs 30% of his routes from the slot. So it's not bad, but he's 70% out wide. Last week, if we look at their snap counts, let me call those up real quick. We're looking at Detroit's snap counts. We had Khalif Raymond was out last week. Tom Kennedy was bumped to 65%. I think that 65% bump for Kennedy was due to Amon-Ra getting hurt early in the game. If we look over at Tesla had 92% snap count. I think that's because Khalif Raymond was out. So I think Tesla got that Khalif Raymond work, and then Tom Kennedy came in and got that Amon-Ra, those Amon-Ra snaps. So I think that Tom Kennedy is going to be an interesting play for us, potentially as a salary saver, while everyone else is focused on Tesla. Because Tesla, look at all the targets. Like he's only had, like 8 targets or something. He's had 6 receptions, and half of them have been touchdowns. So Tesla is the sexy name that everyone's going to want to click on. But it might be Tom Kennedy if Amon-Ra is out. Tom Kennedy and Jahmyr Gibbs would be interesting plays for us. But Tesla still has that good matchup in the against the secondary. So if he's getting 95% snaps too, like all these guys are going to be in play this week. I think if we need a salary saver, I do like Kennedy. Flournoy is interesting. He runs a lot in the slot as well. Let's check out Flournoy's snap count. Flournoy was 38% snap count, so he's not getting a huge snap count, which sucks because he's shown some upside. So yeah, Flournoy could be interesting this week if we need a salary saver. But the guy in the cheap seats that I like the most is going to be Kennedy. I think Kennedy's going to take over a lot of that slot work. Last week, he had 4 targets and 4 receptions for 36 yards. He already has almost more targets than Tesla. And Tesla's going to be the guy that everybody's jumping on Thursday. So Kennedy at $3K could be interesting for us. We're going to have to check out sportnuggets.com and check out the nuggets that are coming out on Tom Kennedy. I want to get the local spin on Kennedy and what the locals think of him. And the best way to do that is just going to be through filtering him out over on Sport Nuggets and, kind of checking through and seeing what kind of nuggets he's getting. I'm going to go over here real quick. We'll do a quick skim. Tom Kennedy emerges as surprise contributor, pride of Detroit. This is why I like taking from these local sources. I want to hear from pride of Detroit. I don't care what some fantasy analyst says about Tom Kennedy. I want to hear what the the local like fan podcasts, the local beat writers, what all those guys are saying about these dudes. Tom Kennedy provides versatile special teams and offensive contribution. This is Detroit Lions press conferences, proving his worth on special teams and offense. Like, this is a guy that seems like he's getting a little bit of buzz. I'm going to want to go in here and do more research on him. And this is why, this site is for us to get into rabbit holes with these unknown players and try to find a hidden gem. So Tom Kennedy at 3K is the guy that I want to try to do more research on this week. You see all sorts of nuggets on him. We got a huge rabbit hole to dig down. And all of this is from the last 6 days when he had that 4-for-4 performance on Thanksgiving. So Tom Kennedy, sportnuggets.com. Go subscribe to it right now. Sign up for an account, free beta preview. Get me to 70 likes. And like I said, my picks are going to be in sort by. You're going to go to insights, and you're going to click on this Detroit versus Dallas game to filter it even further. We got all sorts of filters. You can filter it by position. You can filter it by source. You can filter it by individual teams if you want to look at individual teams, or you can filter it by games. All sorts of options for us. And, just go over there and sign up. It's a really fun account to use. On game day, it was lit up. I saw a ton of people using it on game day. That was fun to see people kind of adopting it and picking it up and having fun with it. But you also want to leave your comments. If you see a comment, a nugget that you like, give us a like rating, because that helps boost its social media score. And then also, leave a comment, because we're crowdsourcing these nuggets. There's so many nuggets. It's hard for me and, Spread, when he starts doing this, to go through all these nuggets and find the best ones. We're going to need you guys to help us crowdsource the best ones. If you see a nugget that you like or that you think is relevant, go into the player, leave a comment, and hit that like button on the comment too, so we can get more information. We already see somebody favorited this already. So somebody has clicked this as a favorite. If you guys see something interesting, you can't listen to it right now, click favorite and it'll show up in your favorites. And then you can go back and listen to it later. So we've made it very easy for you guys to reference these sources and find all this like hidden information and all these great nuggets from sources that, we don't normally look for or look at, honestly. Ferkser is going to be interesting with Detroit missing most of their tight ends. We got Ferkser as an option in the tight ends for Detroit. Dallas has, let's see what Dallas has been doing. Dallas has been giving up 14.2 DraftKings points a game to the tight end position. So they're still vulnerable to tight end. It's going to be interesting for us. Malik Davis, same matchup as Javonte Williams. I don't really like the running backs in this game. Both of them have bad matchups, or all of them have bad matchups. Tolbert, let's see what his snap count was. Tolbert is at 25%, so he's less than Flournoy. So Flournoy is basically the wide receiver 3 in this offense, at least from a snap count perspective. Love it. We could try to dig up some nuggets on Lovett to see these wide receivers on Detroit. If Amon-Ra is out, we're going to have all sorts of opportunity there. And not really interested in too many other of these guys. So let's move on to building this lineup. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that hype button, sign up for your account over on Sport Nuggets. Got all sorts of stuff going on. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be putting up probably an underdog video at some point tonight. It's Wednesday right now. I'll be putting up an underdog video. Sign up on Underdog. By the way, check out these promo codes. I got BetMGM. You sign up over at BetMGM. You use the promo code HEATER1500. You're going to get up to $1,500 risk-free bet. So if your first bet you bet $200 and it loses, they're going to give you $200 in bonus bets to make up for that 200 that you lost on your first bet. So up to 1,500 on that. Take advantage of that. Also take advantage of Underdogs promo. I got a promo code with them, SEEK, SEEK. You play $5, they're going to give you $100, not $50. They're going to give you $100 in bonus cash. We got playoff best ball coming up. I shipped 2 of those tournaments last year, the Mitten and one of the DraftKings single entry tournaments. I won both those contests last year. Love playoff best ball. It's probably my favorite sport my favorite game next to Showdown. So take advantage of all that. And let's go ahead and do this build here. Like I said, I'm going to go with Dak Prescott in the captain. We're going to need some salary relief, I can tell already, because I'm going to want to stack him with both these receivers here. Just let me take a drink. I'm flying blind with ownership, by the way, too. So this, my opinions could change. I might just lean on the receiver with the lesser ownership, honestly. So let's get Lamb in there. Let's get Pickens in there. This is going to be a Dallas stack. I'm going to go cheap on the side of, let's see, we got Kennedy at 2K. Oh, I was saying 3K. I was looking at the captain prices. 2K is even better. Let's get Kennedy in there. That is contingent on Amon-Ra being out. Amon-Ra's in. I don't like Kennedy. Let's see. 6,700 per guy. I'm going to get Jameson Williams in there. He's still cheap. And he's going to get the most work there. So I got Williams in there. I got 5K left. So, this lineup builds pretty well. We could put Tesla in there. We could put Bates in there. We could put either defense in there. We could put Flournoy in there. So this leaves us in a great spot with the Dak Prescott. I probably would put like this as a rotational last spot and just do this lineup and just rotate on that last spot. All sorts of guys and options that we can use there. Let's swap out Prescott. Let's say we wanted to go with Lamb. I told you guys I liked Lamb a little bit better than Pickens. So let's go Lamb, Prescott. Leaves us with 5,400. That leaves us with Aubrey as an option too, and Bates. I like how that opens up even more. Like Lamb is usually the most expensive guy on the slate, but now we've got a discount on him. These lineups are building themselves, guys. Let's put Jameson Williams in here. This is how it was on Thanksgiving when I was doing my show for the Thanksgiving slate. Jameson Williams. I like Jameson Williams. Let's put him in the captain. Let's go Dak Prescott again in here. Do I have him in here? Yeah, I got him in here already. Let's get Lamb in here too. 6K. Let's take Lamb out and put Goff in there. Let's say that. All right, let's take Pickens out. This is going to be tough. I mean, whatever lineup I put Pickens in, I'm going to rebuild it with Lamb, honestly, because those guys are neck and neck on who could have a bigger game. You build like this, and then we still have Aubrey and Bates as options, or Tesla. If I have Goff in there, I'd probably put Tesla in there. Just get a 4-2 build going. I don't like necessarily having him with 3 receivers, though. Let's take Goff out on this one. Let's put Gibbs in. And let's swap that back to Lamb and the captain. I want to try some with Gibbs because I think he's going to have a big role in the receiving game. So we got Lamb and the captain, Prescott. We got Kennedy and Gibbs. Let's get Williams in there. Leaves us with 3,800, and that leaves us in, Flournoy, Turpin. The good part about this game, we got a ton of these cheap guys who are going to be options for us. If I wanted to go a little bit different, hopefully Gibbs is going to soak up a lot of that captain ownership after what he did a few weeks ago. He got 58 DraftKings points. I had him written up in the Thanksgiving slate. He was a guy that I liked in that slate, and he ended up busting for us in that one at 11.6, by the way. Let's see. Let's say that I wanted to let's get Prescott out of here. Let's say that, we're unfortunate and with our passing game. Let's say that we got Lamb in the captain. Let's put Williams in this one, Javonte Williams. Let's say that Lamb is racking up PPR points. He's getting to the goal line, but then Williams keeps sniping our touchdowns from us. And then we can build the rest with these guys from Detroit. Let's put Goff in this one. 6,200. If we wanted to, we could take Williams out. Let's put Gibbs in there. And we'd have Goff, Kennedy, and Gibbs. And then we could get maybe Cowboys D or Flournoy or one of these different options. That gets us Goff and Gibbs and Kennedy at least. 4,400 is what we would need for Tesla. So let's swap from Lamb to Pickens and see if that gets us there. 3,900. No, doesn't quite get us there. So it's going to be hard to keep Gibbs in these lineups. But I do think that Gibbs is going to have a good passing game this week. I think he's probably going to get a ton of that slot work is what I'm thinking with Gibbs. But I'll have more complete thoughts on this game. Got to get some more information like ownership. I want to get some more information off of Nuggets, sportnuggets.com for all that information that's pouring in. Just a boatload of information. We're flooding the zone with these Nuggets so that we can all just have access to all this information. You guys are helping us crowdsource these Nuggets. Leave your comments in those Nuggets. I've seen a bunch of comments already, guys pointing out that a lot of these Nuggets, we do have AI breaking down a lot of these Nuggets, and sometimes they recognize the name wrong, the player's name wrong, or they assign a Nugget to the wrong player. You guys pointing that out helps us out big time because there is thousands of Nuggets coming in. Obviously, we can't read all of them. So we need you guys to help us out and point out some of the bad Nuggets so that we can fix them and edit them, but also the good Nuggets because we want to share the good Nuggets with the community. And that's what this is all about. It's all about a crowdsourcing opportunity for us. It's a free beta preview. Take advantage of it. Go sign up over at sportnuggets.com. Sign up to the YouTube page. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Looking for 2,400 subscribers. Need about 70 to get there. Hit the like button. Give me to 70 so we can put my insights in the Sport Nuggets section. Insights at Sport Nuggets. And then also make sure to hit that hype button because the hype helps push this show in YouTube's algorithm. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. And I will see you for the underdog video.